what about the exit on that vehicle or that company that you're in? How did that come about? Whatever you can share. I mean, obviously what's public, but
Sure.
the transition, I guess, talk about that transition.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, it was, I think just a culmination of a lot of things. Once we got the new company established, there was some leadership changes that took place. And, um, I think, again, I think it comes back to there's going to be a dominant culture. And I think my mistake was in thinking that we were going to create a culture, something new. And I didn't get on board with what probably was the dominant culture, and that's fine. I don't have any regrets or issues with that. But I think it just came to a spot where it was pretty obvious there needed to be a reorganization within the company. And so as part of that, there was a handful of people that were exited out and just kind of reshuffled what the management looked like, um, at the new company. So in hindsight, I think it was a great thing for me, but I think it was a really great thing for the company as well. So
Yeah. Well, I've been laid off from a job. I've had a job that, I went to and took a risk on it. And then they switched up the organization. My boss got let go. I got let go. And it was like I had taken a big risk to go over there. Or I thought at the time it was a big risk because I had a pretty steady and stable career at the prior bigger company I was at. And I remember it being like this huge inflection moment for me around just like life and like what, where's the trajectory of everything. And prior to then, I mean, I'd never really been let go from any type of job. I mean, I'd
yeah,
been working since I was 16 in different various things and had never really had a moment where I felt like I was like just cut loose from something. And man, it ended up being like the launching point for like the rest of my life. Like I look back at that moment and it couldn't have been a better thing to happen. And it also forced me to have a lot of introspective
yeah,
thoughts and, growth around what does this all mean? I had sacrificed a lot for that company. I've been working like nights and weekends and coming in all the time, putting in crazy work weeks. And it was really stressful. And then when that happened, I was like, what does this all mean? You put more effort into this probably than anything you've put into something in it and it failed, right? Or I looked at it as a failure at the time. But the personal growth that came from it, and then that's what forced me to kind of go out on my own from necessity out of, having a plan really. And people are like, "Oh, how did you get into like doing entrepreneur stuff? How did you do this?" And I'm like, I didn't have a choice. I got
yeah,
put out on the street and I started being scrappy, figuring out how to make some money. And then that kind of snowballed. And then it forces you to be in a position that I think is the best way to grow, which is be uncomfortable.